Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody who has joined us here on the Emergency Management Associates Network this morning. Now, I am coming on this morning because I want to do an update of last night's middle of the night update, okay? Harry Fodder says he was just given an eviction notice. Thank you, Joe Biden. Yes, thanks, Joe Biden, for everything you haven't done. Yeah, exactly. I'm so sorry to hear that, Harry. God bless you, brother. God bless you. Anyway, I'm doing an update from last night's earthquake. Now, let's go over here and take a look at it. This was a 5.7 earthquake over here in the mountains outside of Bakersfield, California. This was north and east of Santa Maria, and there are felt reports coming out of Santa Maria, California, and upwards of San Luis Obispo as well, down into Los Angeles, all the way down into Orange County. There are felt reports. We will be discussing those felt reports in just a minute. So we have that 5.7 earthquake. Now, I'm going to show you an exact location of that alleged 5.7 earthquake. We're showing it to you right here. Okay? This is where it occurred. There are earthquakes all over this area, as you can see. Earthquakes all over. There's even more earthquakes now. There are over 100 aftershocks since its earthquake hit last night. Now, on this same map, you're seeing oil and gas pumping operations here. I want to show you exactly what has happened here last night and this morning. This is exactly where the earthquake happened. Okay? Let me get my mug out of the way here so you can see it. Okay? This is where the earthquake happened. Just outside this electrical platform. Just outside this electrical platform here. Okay? Hit right here. Electrical platforms actually contribute to earthquakes. The locations of the electrical platforms contribute to earthquakes. But as I pointed out last night, you can see windmills also around this electrical platform. Quite a few windmills around this electrical platform. It would not surprise me that there is a huge pumping operation with these windmill operations here near Lamont, California. This is not only those, but a lot more. Okay? Let's take a look at other things that contribute here. This is an oil-filled earthquake. Look at this. Look at these oil fields out here. Look at this oil field right smack dab in the middle of your screen here. An oil platform. Look at all the earthquakes hitting that oil platform. This is a fracking earthquake. This is a fracking earthquake, guys. Okay? It's not anything else but a fracking earthquake. You can see these other aftershocks also at the platforms pulling up oil and gas out of the earth. And this one over here on the lower right side. Guess what? There's also a retention pond. A retention pond containing water that's been recycled from our poop. Okay? Recycled water. Okay? They're pumping the water down into the earth to take the place of the oil and gas that they got out of the earth. Not just that, but the recycled water here goes into the shale down in there and helps release oil and gas from the shale. Okay? That's why we have these retention ponds, and they're literally all over the place. They're literally all over the place. Look at that. I just pulled up this picture higher so you can see these retention ponds. Okay? This is an oil and gas fracking earthquake. Okay? Now, given that, let's go over here and show you all the aftershocks. Over 100 aftershocks right now. At this point right now, over 100 aftershocks. And they're still counting. More and more aftershocks are happening every hour. Okay? Every hour. Now, folks, I've spent quite a few hours diagnosing this earthquake. I spent quite a few hours looking at this earthquake, trying to find out how strong it was. Now, I've ultimately come to two ideas here. Okay? First, let me go and show you the USGS. I think I still have it. Maybe I don't. Let me go pull it up, though. I can't pull it up, huh? Yeah, I've proven that before, too. Now, when we've done these earthquakes, when we pulled up this information in the past, right here, okay, the USGS showed us several different sources for what it could have been. This one here says a 5.09. It was a lot stronger than a 5.09, and they said they had 19 stations that reported a 5.09. I'm sorry, they have a lot more stations than that. There's about 53 stations that reported that earthquake, but it was not a 5.09. It was very much a lot stronger than that. The second one was a 5.5, allegedly showing 19 stations. Well, guess what? There were 48 stations here. I counted every one of them. 48 stations that they said reported a 5.5. Well, guess what? Wrong again. It was actually a 5.6. A bit stronger than their 5.5. And then we go on. Wait till you see what I have to show you now. Okay? Then they had one station details here, allegedly showing a 5.58 earthquake. 201 stations reporting. Guess what? It was more like 400 stations reporting. I went and counted every one of them. This earthquake was a 6.6 earthquake. A 6.6 earthquake. I went and counted every station's seismic reading. Some of those were in the sixes. Some of those station readings were in the sixes, making this a 6.6 earthquake. Regardless what USGS says, they are mostly wrong about everything. They are mostly wrong about everything, and I can prove it. I've proven it in the past, I'm proving it now. This was a 6.6 earthquake, 100 times stronger than their alleged 5.6, 5.7. Okay? A lot stronger than what they said it was. Now, quite frankly, I'm getting tired of what they're telling us, as most of you are. Jimmy Stevens says, "Hi Ron, me and my wife felt it in Lake Elsinore over in Orange County. Our motorhome was shaking. Have a good day. God bless everyone." Jimmy, thank you for coming in here and telling us that. Also, if you're also not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. Every subscription helps. 25% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. If you're not subscribed, you're going to miss out on updates when we do them, just like we're doing now. We're usually on the air at 6 p.m. or just after 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, sometime between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Monday through Friday here on YouTube. Now, why am I saying that? Sometimes I get very busy before we go on the air, and there's more evidence coming out about whatever we're talking about, and I want to make sure I get all the information for you. I'm not going to come on the air and just rack my jowls up and down. Not going to happen. I want to give you information that you can use. information that's going to help you prepare for what's happening. Anyway, this was not a 5.6, it was not a 5.7, it was not a 5.5, and it surely as heck was not a 5.09. A 6.6 earthquake. A 6.6 earthquake. Now, why am I being so adamant about this? On Monday, we reported a 5.4 earthquake over in southern Mexico. I told you then that we would possibly be expecting another like earthquake in Southern California. What happened? Just over 24 hours later, about 36 hours later, we have this earthquake in Southern California, just north of Los Angeles. It was felt all the way over into Santa Maria and points north. It was felt all the way out into the desert in Victorville. Was felt all the way down into Lake Elsinore in Orange County. And I'm being told it was also felt into San Diego in Oceanside. This earthquake was felt round about the whole area, all over Southern California. Now, I appreciate all of you who are supporting me here on this channel. I very much appreciate it. I have old friends and new friends, family members here. Isaiah's granny I've known forever. She's a very dear friend of mine. I love her very much. Sage Pup, I love him very much. I love all of you guys. Roxy Trim is here. I appreciate Roxy. I appreciate Rebecca, NCWQ, Worldwide News and Disaster Explorer. I appreciate all of you here. It means the world to me. My buddy over here in Tennessee, Albert Sanchez. Big Al and I have been friends for several years now. We've been working on a project together, and I hope to heck that we can put this project together and it will benefit all of you. Now, this was a large earthquake. Granted, it was a very large earthquake, a very strong 6.6 earthquake. Now, I'm going to go over here to the EMSC. The USGS said that there were over 9,900 people that felt this quake. Last night they said there was only a handful, less than 100. Now they're showing over 5,900. Well, guess what? That's not all, folks, there's more. Over in the EMSC, the European Agency, they're showing 169 felt reports. 169 felt reports. Let's go over here and read the felt reports. USGS does not give us the opportunity to do that. Fraser Park, over on the San Andreas Fault, at the Garlock Fault, where the Garlock and the San Andreas meet. Fraser Park, it shook the house, felt in every part of the house. Wall hangings fell and moved. Things on shelves almost toppled over. Monterey Park, California, 140 kilometers from the epicenter. I had been asleep, woke up around 9:09 p.m. and felt the house move around 9:11 p.m. Hemet, California, Orange County. In Hemet, very slight movement, very slight rumble. Taft, California, 36 kilometers from the epicenter. It started off mild and then got stronger and seemed to last pretty long. I'm in Taft, California, not far from the epicenter. Palmdale, California, out in the desert. Side-to-side movement for about 50 seconds. Didn't feel any other of the smaller earthquakes following the first. Camarillo, California, also south of the earthquake, 99 kilometers from the epicenter. Seemed long, maybe a minute or more of shaking and rolling feeling. Phone alerted me a few seconds before I noticed the earthquake. A few seconds. A lot of good that earthquake shake app does, giving us a few seconds warning, and then all of a sudden it happens. Hawthorne, California, where SpaceX was and is leaving Hawthorne, California, moving to Texas. Hawthorne, California, just a little bit of a wiggle. Corona, California, north and south of this, actually not north, but south east of the earthquake's epicenter. Corona. Heard an audible deep boom, almost as if a semi crashed somewhere. We live near the 91 in Corona off of McKinley. No shaking. Then we got the alert via the app and there was a quake. We live on the apartment third floor. Going over into Sanger, California, 183 kilometers from the epicenter, very mild. I actually wasn't sure what it was. Wilmington, California, 166 kilometers from the epicenter. It felt like a rumble and roll in Wilmington, California. Spring Valley Lake, 176 kilometers from the epicenter. I felt this quake in Victorville. Felt like a very soft, gentle rolling motion for a good 5 to 10 seconds. I felt it. Sitting still on a chair, but my son, who is not more than 20 feet away, didn't feel anything. I thought it was crazy till I get the alarm seconds later. Signal Hill, California, 168 kilometers from the epicenter. I was in the car in Los Angeles, Long Beach area. At the very moment it hit. I couldn't quite feel it very well, but it shook a bit in my car. Riverside out east of the quake, 198 kilometers from the epicenter. Slight shaking in Riverside. Monrovia, California, 146 kilometers from the epicenter. 2 rolling shocks, no damage. Bakersfield. Felt a hard rumble, then a long, slow roll until the phone alert went off. The earthquake happened before the phone alert went off. I went to stand and felt disoriented. It lasted about 15 seconds, but we continued to feel the tremors and the aftershocks. Lancaster out in the desert. It hit hard, and it was scary when you only have a fire stick. You can find any information. Fresno, California. Fresno, far north. I was upstairs, heard a slight rattling and noticed some things shaking. Arroyo Grande, light rolling for 5 to 10 seconds, and this last one I'm going to show you, or I'm going to talk about, says strong shaking from rolling that lasted a long time. That was in Bakersfield. Folks, this was a big earthquake. It was felt all over California, all the way up into Fresno. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. We can't much go on here before saying it was a large earthquake, a very large earthquake, a 6.6, very strong earthquake. Now, given that, I said last night that every earthquake has a 25% chance of being a foreshock. I do not believe that this earthquake is going to be a foreshock. I think this is it. We have been expecting a 7.0 earthquake here in Southern California. I think this is the earthquake that we're looking for. No, it was not a 7.0, but it was a 6.6. So we have had that very strong earthquake. Now, we may have stronger earthquakes. I'm not saying this is a foreshock. I'm not saying that at all. We could still get another 7.0, say up in Ridgecrest or down in San Diego or even over in Imperial Valley, just east of San Diego County. It still could happen. During the past 48 hours, we have had moderate 4.1 earthquakes down in the upper north part of the Gulf of California, between Baja California and mainland Mexico. We are still getting earthquakes coming up from Mexico. That seismic energy is going into the Imperial Valley. The USGS is not showing many earthquakes in the Imperial Valley. They never do. Over 500 earthquakes a day land in the Imperial Valley as a result of seismic energy coming from the south over in southern Mexico, coming up into Guerrero, Mexico, and up into California. That's not going to change. We've told you before when we've reported 5.0s and 5.5s in the Imperial Valley, and USGS did not say a word. They used to. USGS used to say or tell us when there was a 5.0 large earthquake, but they didn't report the last one. I did. We will continue to show you earthquakes. We're going to continue to show you all the earthquakes, because if we don't, an earthquake will come over and knock you out. We want to make sure you're preparing. We want to make sure you're prepared. That is one of the reasons that we talk so much about Hurricane Debbie, now Tropical Storm Debbie. And just so you know, that storm is over here in North Carolina now. The storm is in North Carolina now. Folks, we need to be very much aware of what's going on around us. We've talked a great deal about this, and we're going to talk even more. Now, I'm very hopeful that we're not going to have many more large earthquakes than this here in Southern California. But what I am telling you, it probably will not be the last. It probably will not be the last earthquake that we're going to see. It won't be. It never is. It never has been. We continue to see large, very strong, and very deadly earthquakes. For example, a 6.9, two 6.9s in Ridgecrest on July 3rd, 2019. And what happened? USGS downgraded one of those to a 5.4. And they took the other 6.9 off. Actually, not 5.4. They downgraded one of the 6.9s to a 6.4, and they took the other one down, saying it never happened. What happened on July 4th, about 12 noon Mountain Time, 11 a.m. over in Ridgecrest, July 1st, or July 4th, 2019. A 7.1 earthquake. A 7.1 earthquake that they're now saying could have been an 8.0. It could have been an 8.0 earthquake, and very likely was. USGS rarely tells the truth. Rarely do they ever tell the truth. Why? Because they hedge their bets. They don't want anybody to know what's going on. And as a result, what is going to happen? We are going to find more and more people dead as a result of natural and man-made disasters, because the USGS is not doing their job. The USGS will never do their job. The United States Geological Survey will never do their job at all. Not now, not ever. I'm telling you. I've been watching this happen for over 5.5 years now. I've been watching everything. Now, folks, if you want good coverage, if you want to know what's going on around you, tune into this channel. Tune into this channel. There is another gentleman that's on YouTube. The only time he comes on the air is to report large earthquakes. He's in it only for the money. He is in it only for the money. If you go over and support his channel, you're giving him drug money. The man is a druggie. He's a self-proclaimed marijuana addict. He grows his own marijuana as well. He came on the air last night after we did. He had a lot of people there. A lot of people gave him a lot of money. Now, I'm not in it for the money. But what I am talking about is I am tired of people like him taking advantage of people. He is rarely on the air. When he does come on the air, he puts on music and a map that might show some earthquakes. He's never telling anybody the way it is, ever. He doesn't do that. He doesn't research earthquakes and other disasters like we do. He never will. We give you the up-to-the-minute earthquake activity. We give you the up-to-the-minute storm activity, just like I'm showing you here on windy.com. This storm is now in North Carolina. I'm showing you the wind patterns as it is flowing into North Carolina. The epicenter is still down off the coast of South Carolina. It is going to be here in North Carolina by tomorrow. But we're already seeing wind patterns and rain in southern North Carolina. Fayetteville, North Carolina. Heavy-duty rain. I saw a picture today on Facebook that showed a parking lot in South Carolina completely flooded. 2 cars that were basically underwater. Now somebody said, and the reason I'm not showing it is somebody said it was an old photograph. If I can't vet it and prove that was just the last couple days, I'm not going to put it on the air. But there are parking lots underwater. There is a storm surge happening in Southern Carolina or South Carolina, and also happening here in southern North Carolina. A storm surge of 2 feet high. High tide, it might be as much as 40 inches high, just less than 4 feet. We may see 4 feet storm surge along the coastline. Storm surge is wind-based waves. Wind-based waves. Wind pushing the water onto land. We can still see that. There are people that are going to be displaced. There are a lot of people living along the coast and also out on the barrier islands. I am hoping and praying that those people on the barrier islands, which could be now stuck there for a while, have already made it off the barrier islands into mainland North Carolina and mainland South Carolina as well. You all need to be able to prepare. We have given you all preparedness notice. You need to be prepared. Those of you that live here in North Carolina and also that are still being hammered in South Carolina, you need to make sure you have plenty of food and water to weather this storm. This storm is probably going to stick around another day or two, at least till Friday. In the case of residents in North Carolina, this storm will stick around till probably Saturday during the day. By Saturday afternoon, we should see the storm moving over into Virginia and out to sea. Move out to Virginia and out to sea. That doesn't mean it's going to go away. This storm could also reappear once it passes Virginia and goes over into New York, Connecticut, out into Massachusetts, out also into Delaware, Vermont, Maine, and up into Canada. It still could do that. It still could do that. You need to be very much aware of what the storm could do. This storm is just off the coast. As you can see, the winds are picking up water from the Atlantic Ocean. Picking up water, and it's raining over on the mainland. The storm is still bringing rainwater over onto the land. There's going to be flooding. Creeks, rivers, and streams will be flooding. Streets are going to be flooding. If you're seeing heavy rain, stay home. If you're seeing heavy rain, stay home. Heavy rain would only mean that you're going to have a lot of problems. Stay home. Stay home, don't go anywhere. NCWQ says a lot of bad news. I'm not seeing bad news. The good news is if you're home safe. Stay there. If you have to and you're near the shoreline of North Carolina or South Carolina, go over to Home Depot or Lowe's and pick you up some sandbags to put at the doorways of your home so you don't get flooded. Make sure again that you have plenty of water and plenty of food to get by the storm. Whenever you hear of a storm coming in, make sure you have everything that you need to be prepared. That's one of the reasons we tell you about it before it happens, to make sure you're prepared. I'm giving you that information now. Be prepared. Already up in Virginia Beach, they're seeing some of the wind coming from the ocean. Up in Virginia Beach, the wind is only about 15 to 20 miles an hour. But as this storm moves north, that wind will increase. That wind will increase, I guarantee it. Over at the eye wall of the storm in South Carolina, the wind is about 45 miles per hour, 49 kilometers per hour. That's a pretty heavy breeze. It'll knock down tree limbs. It'll knock over trees as well. Now, here in North and South Carolina, we've had a lot of rain during the past 2 months. A lot of rain. What has happened? Because of the rain, the ground is saturated. This water here that we're getting from this storm is going to saturate the ground even more. The light winds that we're going to see could knock down trees, and we've seen what happened in other places here in the United States where the ground got saturated and trees got knocked over. The trees fall into homes. Trees fall in homes and kill people. We've seen that happen as well. You need to be prepared, guys. You need to be prepared. Okay? NCWQ is saying South Carolina, Colton County is urging evacuation as McGrady Dam could potentially fail. Yes, the McGrady Dam is going to possibly fail. I'm saying is going to possibly fail. Those dams are not meant to withhold all the water that they're seeing coming in. You need to be prepared, guys. If you live near a dam that may go down, an earthen dam that may go down, make sure you are already evacuating. You do not want to take the chance of having that dam go and then trying to evacuate. You're not going to get out. You're not going to be able to get out, and you might get killed. Save your life and the life of your family. Highway Runner, one of my dear friends, is here as well. My wife and I love you, Highway Runner. We appreciate you so much. A lot of people, she says, a lot of people in vehicles can stop quickly. That may be you. But what about the other vehicles? Are you watching out for them? You need to watch out for everybody. You need to drive around for everybody. You need to be very cognizant of everybody around you. If you're not, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt, and it might not be good at all. Does anybody have any questions? At the end of every program, I try to answer people's questions, and this is real. This is very real. Okay? I try to give you opportunity to ask questions because no question's a dumb question. You need to be very cognizant of everything going on around you. Okay? NCWQ says, Ron, is that storm now moving towards land? Yes. It most certainly is. It's moving north, and then it's going to move into North Carolina. And at that point in time, the eye wall of the storm will probably be over land in North Carolina. Okay? As it passes Virginia, it may go back out into the Atlantic Ocean. Joseph Figura says, how do we find the background radiation in the States? Background radiation, guys. You need to go over to the, what's it called? Joseph, tonight, between now and tonight when we come on the air, I will find the agency that will give you that information. Background radiation in the States. Background radiation may be radiation coming from the granite that you might live around. Granite carries radiation. Granite carries radiation. Man-made granite does not. But if you have granite countertops in your home, you may have radiation in your home. You may also have radon gas coming into your home, either in your basement or your slab that you're setting your house on. Okay? There's always some kind of background radiation. You might also have radiation coming from your power lines. From your power lines. That's a good question, Joseph. It's a very good question. Now, your power lines carry electromagnetic radiation. My mother's cancer was caused by radiation from the power lines right near their house. My parents' house sat like this. Out to the west of my parents' house, there were great big, huge, tall power lines. Great big, huge power line towers. That electromagnetic pulse from those power lines was causing radiation. And that radiation fell down onto my parents' house, and my mother got cancer and passed away from electromagnetic radiation, and I proved it. At the time in 1991 when she passed, I proved it. I had all the documentation. Okay? I proved it. Miriam Estevez is saying they felt the earthquake in Kingman, Arizona. It's possible. That's very possible. Do you guys have any other questions for me? That was a great question, Joseph. I appreciate that. Any other questions for me? Guys, I appreciate you all very much. Again, if you're not already subscribed to this program, please subscribe. When you subscribe, you also will see a very tiny little circle. Okay? It'll have a bell in it. Click on that little bell icon. When you click on that little bell icon, there will be a drop-down menu of 3 items come up. Click on the word ALL. Click on the word ALL. That will get you notified when we come on the air. Okay? You may have to continue watching on your subscription because YouTube unsubscribes people at will. Last night after I explained this, we got about 4 or 5 more people that subscribed to this program. As of this morning, when I came back here and checked, we had 5,666 subscribers. I would like to get that to 5,700 subscribers within the next couple days. Why? Because 2 weeks ago, we had 6,000 subscribers. Immediately, YouTube took that down to 5,600. They took 400 subscribers from our channel just because they could. Make sure you're still subscribed. Okay? And then again, click on that little bell icon so you get notified when we come on the air. Harry, you got our prayers. Harry says, I could use your prayers. Thank you. Well, you will have that. We will be praying for you, my brother. God bless you. Betty Zoom says, hello from Canada. Welcome, Betty. We appreciate you here as well. We appreciate all of our subscribers from all over the world, including Canada. Some people in Canada think they belong to the United States, and I believe they do. One continent, one country. Yes, it's 2 countries realistically, but I've been in Canada. They are a part of me, and I'm a part of them. We appreciate all of you up in Canada. We appreciate all of our subscribers that watch our program from Australia and New Zealand, over in South and Central America, Mexico, We've had people in Costa Rica recently that have been here watching this program. We appreciate that. We've had people in Indonesia, over in Japan as well. We've actually had some people in India before. We've had people in Romania, Poland. We've had people in Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, and Finland. We appreciate all of you here. We appreciate our subscribers over in Iceland as well. And yes, Iceland is about to get hit with another volcano. Actually, the volcano that's erupted, will be erupting in Iceland, is the same volcano, but just a slightly different place. We're watching that very closely too. I hope you have a great day, everybody. We will be back on the air sometime after 6 p.m. tonight. Probably right around 6 p.m. Be here, be square. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. We will see you on the other side. We love you very much. Thank you for being here, everybody. God bless.